Shalom and welcome to Ezra Vision. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate Israel's 60th Day of Independence.
Someone who made Aliyah in 1948 compared with someone who made Aliyah in 1997 will come from totally different vantage points. The person from 1948 will come with the idea that this country is fragile, that a Jew's existence in general is fragile. Whereas a person who made Aliyah in 1997, in my opinion, will come with the idea that Israel is indefeatable. So, though the two people will come from totally different vantage points, fragility versus indefeatability, I think they will both reach the same conclusion, that the best situation is one where you provide your own security, where you're responsible, where your leaders are responsible for providing you with the security of living as a Jew in a Jewish nation.
So really, this program is just a whole bunch of insights into what it takes to move to a country like Israel and what it's like to be an Oleh. Many Olim come from America, United Kingdom, Australia, South Africa. And for us English speakers, we have a special time. There's a common experience for everybody. It all starts with a visit to the Aliyah Shaliach.
One day I'm sitting in my office and a couple came in. I have to admit they were a rather strange looking couple. And the woman said to me, the wife said to me, we have a question about Aliyah. And I said, yes. And they said, can we bring a snake to Israel? And I just said, what snake? And she put her hand in her bosom, right like this, and pulled out a live snake, which started wandering around on my table. And I said to her, that snake you can't take on Aliyah. So he says, right, we're not going on Aliyah then. And they got up and walked out. Never saw them again.
Good call, Maurice. But many people do come on Aliyah to Israel, and they do bring their pets and other much-loved members of their family. And many of them find the same problem when they get here. Hebrew country, English name. Oops.
Anyone who wants to find me under my name that I use, which is Isobel Berman, in the phone book, cannot find me. Because at the Misrad Panim, the clerk said to me, Eze min shem Isobel? And I said, my name is not Isobel, that's Jezebel. It's Isobel. And he said, Oto davar. And said to me, do you have another name? And I said, yes, but it's also not a Hebrew name. He said, well, what is it? I said, it's Natalie. So that is on my Tudat Zahut in the bank. My apartment is in that name. The telephone is in that name. And I'm stuck with a name that nobody knows and therefore can't find me, thanks to the Misrad al Hapanim.
My name is Patricia Carmel. And whenever an Israeli asks me what my name is, I say Patricia. And they say Chuchucha, and I say, no, Patricia. And they say, Shoshana, and I say, no, Patricia. And they say, oh, Patricia. But mostly they call me Carmel.
I decided when I made Aliyah that I'd call myself Moshe, and a week after arriving, I found myself in the army. But within a few days, every time they needed a volunteer, they'd say, Moshe, Yossi, Chaim. So I learnt the hard way after 1 week that, there's no point in having a name like Moshe. So I went back to Maurice, and I've been Maurice ever since.
My name's Joan. Nobody could get Joan. It was John, Jane, Jean. Oh, Karen! I don't know where they got Karen from. So I reverted back to Shirley, which is my normal name, but which name I don't like. So I really have an identity crisis.
It takes a while to settle in, sometimes 30 years. But eventually everybody does. Many of us move into the absorption center to start with, or the Merkaz Klita, as we fondly remember it, and others move into their own homes.
When I first got here and my container arrived, I had to arrange for all these different people to be able to hook up all of my appliances.
For some strange reason, Maddy thought the plumber would come with all the tools of his trade.
Well, lo and behold, I was never told that I have to find the rubber tubing that he needs to hook the washing machine up to the water. He says, hey, you know what, lady? There's a construction site right next door, right outside. You could see it from my window. They were building another building. And he says, they always leave pieces of tubing around over there. And I says, why don't you go and see if you could find one? I says, oh, all right, sure. So I go downstairs, and I'm walking in this orange sand. I'm picking up this dirty pieces of tubes, and I'm saying to myself, this is absolutely absurd.
Absurd? Maybe, but at least now Maddy knows where to find tubing. Welcome to Israeli chutzpah. When you first get to Israel, you hear lo a lot of the time, no. But as the process goes on, you eventually learn how to say no yourself. Assertiveness is a must in Israel. Passive-aggressive does not work on Israelis. And sometimes assertiveness even pays.
Well, I've been in Israel about 3 years, and I just come back from a visit to England where I bought some prescription glasses. And after a few weeks, the glasses arrived. I got a notice from the post office that the glasses have arrived and I should come and pick them up. So I went down there and they gave me the glasses, they gave me the parcel, and they said that would be 11 lirot, I used lirot at the time, for customs duty. And I said, oh, but I'm a new immigrant, I don't have to pay customs duty. And they said, oh, yes you do. And I said, no I don't. And we had this argument, and I was actually standing on my own 2 feet, being very, very adamant and determined and saying no to authority, to somebody across the counter from me. And the guy turned to his boss, who was sitting behind him and who was, listening to all this with avid interest, Mr. Shemesh. Mr. Shemesh sauntered over to the counter and he said, you must all pay this money. And I said, well, I'm a new immigrant and I don't think I have to pay it. And at just that moment I could feel myself weakening, and I was even on the point of getting my purse out when he said, oh, all right.
This week I went to Maccabi to see if I could get an x-ray on my shoulder. When I got there, the woman said, no, I'm sorry, you can't reserve it here. You have to phone up through a central reservation system. The phone's over there. You can phone them straight away directly. When I phoned up and I eventually got through, I was told the first appointment is July. I said, that's much too long. I need this thing now. So I went back to the secretary and I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't wait that long. And I said to her, is the radiologist here right now? Yes, she said. Is he free right now? Yes, he is. Well, can I do it right now? Actually, yes, you probably can. So what was the point of me having to make a reservation through some other system? No point at all. Well, kachazeh.